Going through the teenage years is hard enough on its own, but when you're part of a minority group, it can be even harder. Renton-based author and activist Kelly Vincent is working to give voice to the queer teenager experience with this new book, Ugliest, part of their The Art of Being Ugly book series. Kelly, welcome to New Day.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm loving the Kelly squaredness that is happening on the couch. Tell us about the thought experiment that started the Art of Being Ugly series.
Sure. So when I was growing up, I really struggled with who I was, my gender, but I just assumed the binary just like everyone else. And when I learned about the idea that gender was non-binary, it sort of blew my mind. And then I thought, what would it be like to be a teenager now and have that knowledge, even in the setting where people were telling me I was all wrong? And so I sort of wrote the book kind of imagining being a teenager today in the same basic setting, which was, in that case, small town Oklahoma. And so I just sort of like saw where it went and sort of went through a lot of the experience myself of sort of exploring what's out there and seeing kind of where I landed. And yeah, so it was interesting. And I found that when I got to the end, I was like, I feel like I really have a story that other people could,
that you want to share.
That I wanted to share. I really did. So yeah. So
that's incredible. And why did you feel passionately about writing Nick's story, and how in tune with that you've kind of already mentioned, were these stories personally impacted to you?
Yeah, so the first book was largely autobiographical. Most of the things happened to me, and so it was sort of like re-experiencing a lot of the distress of not knowing who I was. But by the end, I really felt like I had figured things out. And so I wanted to continue the story to see what would happen next to Nick. And so I did, and it was really, kind of exciting to see what Nick could do, the friendships they could make, and then ultimately in the last book, they become an activist for LGBTQ rights, and it's really important right now, especially in a lot of the conservative places in this country. The rights are being stripped away, and it's just it's really important to stand up for what is right, just for basic human rights. So,
I love that. Stand up for what is right. Absolutely. And what do you think right now are the biggest challenges facing trans and non-binary teens today? Yeah,
so it's obviously really different for kids here in Washington.
Seattle, yeah.
I mean, where things are fairly liberal, we're pretty much allowed to be who we want to be. But in a lot of places, it's not even safe. I mean, there are suicide rate is extremely high among trans kids, and it's just really dangerous sometimes to just be who you are. So to me, I think the main thing that kids need to think about is inside of themselves. Who are they? Be honest to themselves about who they are. And then from there, just be as safe as you can, but know in your heart who you are. And I think that's kind of important. So.
That's such a beautiful message. And do you have any other advice for people of really any age who are maybe redefining their gender identity?
Well, I think honestly, you kind of have to explore it. It's really hard to take this idea that we've had for so long and just throw it out the window. And, you may find that you are not masculine or feminine, but you still identify more as female or male or whatever. There's like a huge spectrum in terms of being non-binary. It doesn't mean just one thing. And I think that finding out what that is, you can read about it, you can read about other people's experiences, you can watch YouTube, you can do lots of stuff to just try to figure out for yourself who you are.
Such good advice. And what's next in your writing career and beyond?
Well, right now I'm working on a nonfiction project related to my day job, which is data science. So I kind of had to set the fiction aside, but I want to get back to the fiction, but I've got to do a career choice, which is writing the nonfiction book. But I have some more young adult books that are in the works, so I will get to them eventually.
Well, we are so excited for those. And Kelly, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story and your incredible series.
Thank you for having me.